No nasty words. Okay. I should go and see you at your parish. I've never even been in there. I would love to. I haven't heard you. Do mass in quite some time. Is that what I say? Do mass? Say mass? I guess I'm not clear on the nomenclature. It might start if it might help if I actually record what I'm doing. Can you imagine if I went through all this and did not record a second of what I was doing? My goodness. All right, here we go. Let me try this again.
And now, here's a guy who has never won a congeniality award at any radio station, anywhere.
I will fight you in the street.
It's the Eric Zane Show podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
All right, thank you, Johnny. And welcome to all of you that are taking part in the Eric Zane Show podcast. One of many places that you can check out the show. First and foremost, the almighty Facebook Live, which is what the most of you have been enjoying the show on. That's really strange to me because for the longest time, the audio podcast was the way. It seems like Facebook Live. I don't know what you people like watching the show, I guess. All right, that's fine. Facebook's not your thing. We got you covered on YouTube. Just search Eric Zane Show there. And then I should, by the way, say Facebook is brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid, or on Twitter at Eric Zane Show, brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Okay. The first things we need to get out of the way, I shouldn't say out of the way because I just found out about it. If you're just checking out the podcast now, is the immortal Father Ron Hutchinson is in the house. Welcome back. It's been a while since we've had you in here. It's so good that you are here, Father, and I hope that you are well. I don't know if you know this, Father, but I have had a real bone to pick with my beloved Catholic Church, and you should know this. I mean, I've been just banging my head against the wall for extended time on a number of issues that I have dealt with in private. Regarding the church and I and Diana, it has just been just gut-wrenching. It all started with the Judge Smolensky thing, who I love very much, and I did get some clarification from Father Colin that did help out immensely. Apparently, there was a little bit of sensationalizing in that story that was done that wasn't quite accurate, but it left a mark. So maybe that's something we should have a conversation in private about. But I encourage you all to go to Mass. In fact, join me, for crying out loud. All right. So welcome to Father Ron. He is awesome. And there you go. Now, also, on the top of my mind that I wanted to get into is this weighted blanket is really affecting this show. I have an all-time late start time today on the podcast, and it's that immense weight that is pushing down while I'm laying in bed. If it wasn't, it already is hard enough to get out of bed on a winter morning because it's warm and perfect in there. And then you add the weight, and not only do we have the one weighted blanket, but as you know, we have two weighted blankets. Now, normal people use a 15 or a 20-pound weighted blanket. The 15-pounder was not enough for Diana. She needed more. So we got a 20-pound weighted blanket, and instead of just taking the 15-pounder off and the 20-pounder on, I suggested she put it on top. So now it's 35 pounds of weight, and it's a game changer. It has revolutionized the sleep cycle for the Eric Zane Show podcast household. it is, man, that is, I think, again, I think this all started because of kids with autism. So then, they would use the weighted blankets and it would comfort them. And I think that we have, people who don't have autism have stolen the weighted blanket from the autistic. It is the best thing it's the only good thing that has come. Here's the only good things that have come out of autism. The movie Rain Man, the ability to do phenomenal superhuman things with your mind from time to time. Like throwing a bunch of toothpicks on the ground and counting them out. That might be from the movie. And weighted blankets. I actually know a child with autism. I'm not making this up, and it's phenomenal. I don't know how it works out. The mapping of the brain is spectacular. A lot of people say that people with autism is the brain starting to go through evolution, the human brain evolving, that in 1 million years, these flashes of brilliance that manifest amongst Alzheimer's people, and not Alzheimer's, people with autism, is a slice of how acute and fine and perfect the human brain will be. Now, this is all theory, but because, you see occasionally people with autism have these unbelievable abilities in whatever it may be. Like this one person I know, if you say to them, hey, I was born, or I was born on July 7th, 1970, within like 3 seconds, this person who I know will tell you the actual day of the week you were born on. Now think about that. How could that possibly be? But you can say any date to a person, and they would be able to tell you the day of the week that it occurred on. There's other really, really phenomenal things that I've witnessed from this one person. So I don't know how I got off on this crazy tangent. That's how it's going to be for the rest of this show. As you know, that's kind of how it happens. But all right, that all started with a weighted blanket conversation. No idea. No clue. Less fat. Look, fat, look, here's the deal. What I'm referring to here is the ketogenic diet, which I haven't really gone off on in the past few days. But now's the perfect time. It is going awesome. I am well past those intense cravings I get when I first started the diet. So I'm eating lots of lean meat, but I don't overdo it. I just don't eat as much these days, and that's one of the benefits of the ketogenic diet. My system is now slowly but surely metabolizing the fat stores, with the byproduct being ketones, which are also used for energy, and that makes me a fat-burning machine. Look, fat, look. Here's the deal. And so...
Look, fat, look, here's the deal.
That continues to go great, and that means you're not nearly as hungry, because when your body feels like, hey, we need something to eat, what it does, it burns some fat. But still eating a ton of vegetables, nuts, and not these, like almonds, okay, and not to mention lean meat, stuff like that. But I am losing fat, but I'm not really losing much weight. Now I was 168.5 this morning, which is down. I mean, I weighed 176 when this all got started on, I think it was December 24th or December 23rd, but I thought it would roll off me faster. However, I've been lifting weights. And the strength exercises is allowing me to build muscle mass, and that weighs more than fat as it builds. Look, fat. So what I'm like transitioning. I'm going through a transition. There might be some jokes there too. I'm going through my transition right now. I am a trans person. That is a new terminology I just coined. When you're going from fat to muscle, like Boring Dean, who did all those push-ups I told you about yesterday and is now completely jacked, he's trans too. So Dean and I are going through a metabolic transition. We are 100% trans. So I want to start to coin that as you can use, We're going to steal that. You know how the somebody stole the circle game so that it's now white supremacy? Like, you can't even go like this. Now, if you go like this, you get fired. It's ridiculous. So Dean and I have decided we're going to steal the term trans. As you go from fat to lean, you are trans. There you go. The national championship football game happened yesterday, and I was hanging on that Clemson was going to win that thing. I really liked that quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, but they were no match for the mighty, mighty LSU Tigers. And, really, there's no loser in this because both teams have spectacular storylines. You look at Clemson, the loser in the game with their coach, Dabo Swinney, kind of comes out of nowhere a handful of years ago. And the outrageous skill set of this 6'6" sophomore quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. And, they won last year. They won all their games. And, in fact, Lawrence hadn't lost a football game since 2017 leading up to last night. So, that was spectacular in itself. Last year's national championship game, he was great. LSU, they win all their games this year. This quarterback, Joe Burrow, comes out of nowhere, wins the Heisman Trophy, and he's just spectacular. In the first half of the game against Oklahoma, Burrow threw 7 touchdown passes. Okay, that was fantastic. Or maybe he just accounted for 7, either ran or threw, but I think it was through. I don't know. I don't get bogged down with the details. But anyway, he's great. And then that horrible, heartbreaking story where the offensive coordinator's daughter-in-law perished in a plane crash. She's a 30-year-old sports reporter traveling from Louisiana to that first playoff game in Georgia, and the plane crashed, and his daughter-in-law died, and his son is just completely it was horrible. And so all these storylines blend to this terrific national championship game, and Clemson gets off to a fast start, and I'm thinking, here we go, man. But LSU hangs with them, and boy, it was just spectacular seeing these two teams at such a terrific level perform the way they did. It was absolutely great. The game really did not let down, and LSU wins going away 42-25. Just great. The coach of the LSU Tigers, I didn't even mention him, is Ed Orgeron, who I've talked about many times. I love this guy. He is a Cajun through and through from the great state of Louisiana. If that guy ran for governor right now, he'd win. You know how like Nick Saban shows up on the scene and everybody in Alabama falls in love with this guy? Orgeron is even more of that nature because he's a Cajun through and through. I mean, Saban came in from out of town and, whatever. But Orgeron is Louisiana. And this interview, I can only understand like about a third of it because the dude's Cajun accent is so thick. But I love this guy, man.
The confetti shower inside the Superdome, and somewhere down there, Tom Rinaldi with a happy Cocho.
Chris, thank you very much. Ed, everything you've been through, all it took to get here. When you look up and you see that confetti fall, what goes through you?
So happy for our team. This is about our team. This is about our coaching staff, about everybody wanting the program to go in the great state of Louisiana. I'm just so happy for everybody.
Down for the first time all season by double digits. You come back. What did you learn about this group tonight? 7th win against a top 10 team.
Character, integrity, great players, great coaching staff, will to win.
Joe Burrow stood up on that Heisman stage and concluded his speech by talking about all you mean to him.
Yeah.
What does he mean to you?
The world. He's one of the greatest players in LSU history. He's done so much for the state of Louisiana and LSU. We are so grateful to Joe Burrow.
Finally, Ed, this team's motto, one team, one heartbeat. What does this night, this season mean to the heart of Louisiana from someone from here who represents it?
That's what it's all about. I grew up wanting to be the head coach at LSU. I'm so proud for the state of Louisiana. We've had support from the governor, from the president, from everybody that loves LSU. I'm just so happy for the people from Louisiana. But you got to give the credit to this football team, man. They've been working for 1 year. They deserve this day.
Go ahead and say it, Ed.
No tagging.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you're Orgeron, think about that. You grew up wanting to be the coach of the LSU Tigers. There's only one job in America that can fit that description. There's only one person who can be that guy, and he did it. You just follow the path of this, and I really that's just spectacular to think about that actually happens. You know, I don't know. I mean, some people just say they want to get into coaching, and then they wind up a coach at a school, and that's great. But he wanted to be the coach of the LSU Tigers since he was a little boy. That's enough if you're him. I mean, if I'm him, my head explodes with something like that. Now you're the best. You're coaching the best kids. You did exactly what you set out to do. That is it's just a great story. What else was I going to say about that? All right. So, and then he mentioned the president was there. And from what I understand, I didn't see this. I'll give credit to where it's due. I heard it on Rover this morning. I've been listening a little bit to his show. And they talked about how Vince Vaughn was seen at the game. And he said hi to the president. And he apparently got a picture with him and was talking to him. And now already the big bad internet machine is murdering Vince Vaughn. And that is pretty risky business these days to be seen with the president, and I don't think it should be that way. I think it's completely unfair. I think he's always been a little bit right-leaning, Vince Vaughn has, but you know that entire industry of movie making is a absolute S show. I would have said shit show, but Father Ron's watching. Wait a minute. Anyway, so I don't know. I just think that's crap. The Houston Astros. Wow. We talked about this story, the baseball team. I forgot who. It was a gentleman tipped me off, and I forgot his name. I talked to him yesterday via email. He's the guy who tipped me off on the story, and it was a video piece that went into detail about the cheating that the Houston Astros were being accused of. Now, if you don't know what was happening was the Houston batter would be up to bat, and the opposing team, let's say the catcher would call for a fastball or a curveball. There's someone in the stadium looking at the catcher with binoculars, sees instantaneously what the pitch is going to be, and in a second relays that information to the dugout, and then someone in the dugout bangs on a trash can to tip off the batter as to what the pitch is going to be. And it all happened very, very fast, but they were good at it. This happened back in 2017, apparently. So, time passes. Eventually, people start to get wind of it. Accusations start flying. Before you know it, people start looking into it. And then it is determined. Just the other day, Major League Baseball has said, yes, they were, in fact, cheating by electronic means. Now, stealing signs in baseball happens all the time. The opposing team, if you're getting your sign stolen, you don't like it, so you kind of put things in place. But when you're using electronics and devices to actually cheat the game, that puts it on a whole nother level that if you get caught, that's gigantic, So this is in the 2017 Astros World Series run. And so, a lot of people are like, this is a huge deal. This is not just a little slap on the wrist. So Major League Baseball went ahead and banned the coach, A.J. Hinch, and the general manager, Jeff Lanau, for the whole baseball season this coming year. So that was big, and I would have already have talked about that story. But then, like half an hour later, the owner of the Houston Astros, he makes an appearance, and he fires those two. Just flat out fires them. And that has...
Today's a very difficult day for the Houston Astros. MLB did a very thorough investigation, and the Astros fully cooperated.
This is great.
We accept their decisions and findings and penalties. We worked very hard to build this organization for our employees, fans, sponsors, community, and the city to all be proud. With that being said, there's two very important points I want to make today. I have higher standards for the city and the franchise, and I'm going above and beyond MLB's penalty. Today, I have made the decision to dismiss A.J. Hinch and Jeff Luhnow.
Oh, boy.
We need to move forward with a clean slate.
Oh, boy.
And the Astros will become stronger, a stronger organization because of this today. You can be confident that we will always do the right thing and will not have this happen again on my watch.
Wow. That is swift, certain, and severe. This guy did all the right things. He waited until the league conducted their investigation. Half an hour later, he's on the podium saying publicly, Jim Crane, that's Jim Crane, the owner of the team, saying, hell no, I don't care who you are. I don't care how great you are. Get out. You embarrassed the hell out of all of us. Get the hell out of here. I would love to have been a fly on the wall in that office when he cut those guys loose. Probably screaming and yelling, awesome, well done, get out, don't come back. Man. Statement from A.J. Hinch, the manager. I appreciate Commissioner Manfred's unwavering commitment to upholding the best interests of baseball. Ugh, I wouldn't have said that. I regret being connected to these events. You did it. I am disappointed in our club's actions within this timeline, and I accept the commissioner's decision. This is before he got fired. Let's see. I don't know. Maybe he didn't. He says, as a leader and major league manager, it is my responsibility to lead players and staff with integrity that represents the game in the best possible way. While the evidence consistently showed I did not endorse or participate in the sign-stealing practices, I failed to stop them, and I am deeply sorry. So, wait a minute. Did you know? I guess you didn't say that you weren't aware. You said you didn't endorse and you didn't participate, but yet you're the boss. You're the manager. What does that say? I mean, if you're the manager and you know that your other staff are cheating, yeah, you did it, man. He says, I failed to stop them, and I am deeply sorry. No, this is your fault. You should have said something. So don't try to thread the needle, Hinch. Apologize to Mr. Crane for all the negative reflections this may have had on him and the Astros organization. To the fans, thank you for your continued support, blah, 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 blah. I apologize to all of you for our mistakes, but I'm confident we will learn from it. Yeah, he's kind of trying to spread the blame here. I'm confident we will learn from it, and I personally commit to work tirelessly to ensure I do. You're only saying this because you got caught. You see, this is why when you see bad things happening and you don't say anything, this is how people in leadership positions get in trouble. All right. That's enough of that. All right, the Back Alley Comedy Club is, of course, where you see great comedy in West Michigan. Next up, January 24th, Back Alley Comedy Club, Rockford, part of Rockford Lanes. Josh Blue is just spectacular, putting the cerebral into cerebral palsy. He is a terrific comic, and I'm sure you will love him. January 24th in Rockford. January 25th, it's going to be in Muskegon at Back Alley Comedy Club that is attached to Sherman Bowling Center. They love their bowling. I'd like to see Josh Blue bowl. The Creeps with Kids comedy tour comes to the Emerald Theater in Detroit on Saturday. Jim Florentine, Rich Voss, Robert Kelly, and Ron Bennington. Go see those guys if you want to see another great comedy show, January 18th, if you happen to be in the Detroit area. All right. I want to go a little bit more into this story. I talked about it. I don't remember. It kind of all runs together these days. This story about the folks in the fire department in Detroit who took a photograph in front of a fully involved fire in a residence vacant home that was being redone. And they had been instructed to get out of the home. There's no one in. It's going to collapse. Everybody get out. Just try to keep it so we minimize the damage to the surrounding areas. That's the plan. It's a defensive firefight from what I've read. They took 5 seconds. Chief so-and-so's retiring. They turned around, looked at a camera, snapped a picture, and posted it to social media. Done. That's it. Nothing more. Nothing more to do. Nothing more to say. And biggest mistake was posting it to social media because we live in a day and age that there is a thing called an outrage machine. And when the outrage machine gets going and sensational news stories take hold, that's all anybody wants to worry about, okay? They just want to sit there and complain about stuff. That's what happened here. Now, Brian, who lives in Detroit, reached out to me and said, I feel that the fire department handled this well in their discipline. So I have to clarify that. I was giving them a hard time yesterday. Their discipline was, we're going to take care of it. Now, a lot of people just think that the guy who's running the fire department in Detroit was just going to give those firefighters a slap on the wrist, which I personally think is too much. There should be no slap on the wrist. This should be hailed as a terrific moment, the end of a great career. Nobody got hurt. Nothing strange happened with this dumb picture being taken. So there you go. You know where I stand. But now the Channel 7 in Detroit keeps digging into this, and they found like another chief from back. They like scanned his Facebook and saw him standing in front of another fire back in 2015. So, oh no. And they're combining that with some slick back-haired greaseball lawyer representing whoever, the owner of the home. They think the fire department should replace the home. Yeah, sure. No problem. This is really getting stupid.
Questions in the Detroit Fire Department photo scandal. Good evening to you. I'm Dave Llewellyn.
And I'm Carolyn Clifford. A photo from a different scene has surfaced in the fallout of a group photographed at a burning home, and it puts the focus on a deputy commissioner.
7 Action News reporter Jim Kirchner live in Southwest Detroit tonight with the homeowners who lost everything in the first incident, still waiting for answers. Jim.
That's right, Dave. They've still not been contacted by anyone with the city. They owned this house 50 years, and they were renovating. This firestorm now going all the way to the
fire department didn't light the fire, okay? Probably in your stupid renovations, probably half of that deal wasn't up to code, and this is your fault. This is a perfect example of people now they've taken this fire, and they're now blaming the fire department for this because of a stupid picture.
And 2 guys calling the shots.
That's not a good look for them. They call firefighters for a reason, to put out fires, not to take selfies.
7 Action News has obtained the detailed questions the fire chief asked all personnel about the now famous New Year's Eve picture that has been seen worldwide. Why did you pose with Chief Fisher? He was retiring. Who took the picture? How did you determine the house was occupied or vacant? What type of attack was undertaken to put out the fire?
These are all questions from the investigation that they've uncovered. And it's like, well, what more do you want? I mean, it's clear that those questions are fine, and they're kind of making a big deal, suggesting that this whole investigation is a sham. And well, it shouldn't be happening in the first place, in my opinion.
Told the fire crew went inside but came out because the house was not considered safe. That's when the picture was taken.
We want people held accountable.
This is this greaseball lawyer. And now you got to understand, and I'll link this up in the comments of this podcast, the audio podcast, as I always like to explain that to you in case you need to see for yourself, of this actual news story. This lawyer has a pinky ring. He's got, like, his shirt is unbuttoned down to, like, the middle of his chest. He looks like Larry from Three's Company, great reference, getting ready to go to the Regal Beagle. His hair is slicked back. He's got like gold chains. This lawyer is so classic dirtball sleaze Detroit scuzz lawyer.
For that offensive photo that they took in front of my client's home.
Take a look at Debbie.
He's sitting there pointing the whole time he's making this statement. He's acting like the fire department set the damn fire.
But came out because the house was not considered safe. That's when the picture was taken.
We want people held accountable for that offensive photo that they took in front of my client's home.
Take a look at Deputy Fire Commissioner Dave Fornell posing in front of another burning building. People who posted it on social media say Fornell is investigating and disciplining the first group for taking their photo. Quote, tell me how.
So the guy who's investigating all those firemen and women does the same deal. So everybody's pissed off about that.
How this makes
That's
any
funny,
sense.
actually.
Detroit city officials today, no comment. Fornell tells Action News this was taken in 2015 before he was employed by the city. But get this, another picture shows him with Fire Commissioner Eric Jones, possibly at the same fire. Sources say this was in January of 2016.
Look, this wouldn't have happened in Livonia.
Lawyer.
This wouldn't have happened in Plymouth. This happened in the city of Detroit. And
he's bringing race into this right now.
Nobody should mistake that this would happen somewhere else.
The Higginbotham family is doing extensive and expensive detailed renovations on the house they've had in their family for half a century. The house was allowed to burn. Take time for that controversial picture. The day after, the house was a smoldering pile of ruin.
The TV station is trying to imply that because they took the picture, the house burned to the ground, that they should have done more. But that's a reckless thing to say because they don't know the first thing about fighting a fire. I assume they did everything they were supposed to do.
Did not have insurance.
The family is owed another house. They do have debt.
Was allowed to burn.
Okay, did you hear that part?
Take time for that controversial picture. The day after, the house was a smoldering pile of ruin. They did not have insurance.
The family is owed another house. They do have damages.
What?
But above and beyond
No,
that,
they're not.
this socially is wrong.
Oh, God.
Now, city officials are not commenting on these two new photos. They say this investigation was done on Friday and disciplinary action was taken, but they won't say what it is. My sources inside the fire department say it was simple. Fire commissioners said, don't do it again. Dave, Carolyn?
So, Jim, where do we go from here?
Nowhere.
The family would like to talk with city officials about this, but if they can't have that conversation, they're ready to go to courts.
Seems
what?
incredible
What are you gonna
that
sue for?
that conversation hasn't already taken place,
Oh,
Jim.
yes,
I know you'll stay on
yes,
this.
yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Carolyn?
All right.
I'm so outraged. Yeah, this is BS. The whole thing is stupid. All right, coming up in just a second, I got to play for you the latest audio of Antonio Brown. And in this case, I am on Antonio Brown's side. Okay. That in a second. You ever get a hair like on your face and you can't get it off? There's one on my left cheek and it's like into my line of vision. I keep seeing this little hair and it's like driving me insane. All right. The managed IT service provider for the Eric Zane Show podcast is Blue Frost IT. Zane, what is a managed IT service provider? These are people with vast amounts of knowledge and technical expertise to fix everything in your IT world. My network goes down, if I fall victim to some type of phishing scam, if my computer just stops working, whatever it may be. That's what they do. And for small and medium-sized businesses, you can't afford to have somebody on call or have a person in-house. So what you do is you hire Blue Frost IT. Get on. What you do is each month you pay a fee, a subscription fee, and they're on your team, so that when things go south, they can handle it really, really quickly. Because the last thing you want is a Roy from accounting trying to install the updates on the computer. Before long, everything's screwed up. Reach out to Blue Frost IT to get a quote today. 616-200-8550. If you're in business, you need this for your business. And if stupid me, just one guy trying to scrap a few nickels together can do it, you can too. Because you're like, well, Zane, they're your client. It's like, look, dummy, if it dries up and they don't want to be on the show anymore, they still have me as a paid client. 616-200-8550. Blue Frost IT. Call them. They're online at bluefrostit.com. Father Ron, if you're still here, the parish needs IT support. I know that. You got to call Blue Frost IT. Number 1 for Catholic churches, Blue Frost IT. Also, one of the more great mom and pop businesses is Irvine's Auto Repair. Pretty much all of the businesses on my show are moms and pops. Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. You can find them online at irvines.com. Of course, this is a West Michigan car repair place, so I understand if you're out of market, you can't really jump on board. But if you're in market, my gosh, this is what you need to do. Reach out to them. And if you have a domestic or an Asian vehicle, it needs to be repaired from this day forward at Irvine's Auto Repair. If you support the show, you support the sponsors. Thank you so much. And boy, you're going to be so happy when they start taking care of your vehicles. Now, if you're along 44th Street, just east of 131, there's a side street called Stafford. That's them. You'll see the place as soon as you turn down to Stafford. Pull in there, and they'll help you out. Megan or Jamie work right in front. Jamie is the principal owner of the facility. She is a United States veteran. She was in the Navy. Wait a minute. Am I getting that wrong? I'm pretty sure she was in the Navy. Was it Air? No, she was in the Air Force. Oh, that could have been really bad. Oh, boy. Anyway, veteran and lady owned. That's what I wanted to stress to you. And her husband, she kicks his ass all the time. His name is Eric. And then lovely Megan, of course, we've talked about many times. They own and maintain Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. And I didn't even touch on the hybrid thing. They are so far and away better than everybody else in the market. All the other dealerships, they don't want to tell you that, but they call on Irvine's when they get in the weeds, and that's true. I actually found that out myself. But don't take my word for it. Look at their Google reviews on their website, irvines.com. Antonio Brown didn't play football this year after the nonsense, all that craziness that happened during the year. I don't want to go down that road and revisit all that crap. But he just recently came out with a rap video, which was terrible. It was just a brutal thing. I linked it up on the page. But, all right, so he hasn't done anything. I'm starting to think he will actually play football again next year. I don't know, the whole... maybe not. The whole bad behavior to women thing kind of surfaced up on him. And that's kind of tough to outrun these days if you're an athlete, if you're like, if you abuse people like that. So maybe not. Do I think he should play football again? Well, if he gets that taken care of, and if it's proven that he did something wrong, and then he has to pay the piper, as my dad would say, and then maybe. But not while that controversy is looming. He needs to get his house in order. Well, I don't think he has his house in order right now because this is video that he shot and he posted. He was outside of his residence. And an ex-girlfriend or mother of 3 of his kids, I don't know what I think it's a mother of 3 of the kids. That's what I was understanding. She has been like stalking him or something like that. You know, this is what happens when crazy man and crazy women reproduce. Crazy things happen. And in this case, Brown recorded his interaction with the cops. Because she's been, I should probably just get to the bottom of it and explain exactly what happened instead of just flying by the seat of my pants. Apparently she tried to steal his car or something like that or do something stupid. And the cops were called. So there's several cops in front of his house in this video. Chris is the name of the chick. Chelsea Chris allegedly tried to steal his car. So he wants her arrested. He posted this to Instagram. Police arrived Monday morning after Brown claimed that Chelsea tried to steal a Bentley after getting clothes for their kids. 31-year-old Antonio Brown says the woman has been evicted from his house, and this New York Post article says he went on a profanity-filled tirade toward her and the cops as cops went back and forth looking for information. She's effing trash. Take the trash to jail. I think they took that out in this clip here. Brown says at one point he also called her, who appears calm throughout Brown's Instagram videos, a broke-ass whore, and calls the police pussies for not taking, Father Ron, cover your ears, for not taking the action against Karis he was hoping for. He then apparently, and you can see this when I link it up, he's got a bag of candy gummies that you'd find at a ladies' bachelorette party. They're gummy penises. And he holds them up as like a prop and says, look, everybody, a bag of dicks. A bag of dicks for the dicks. He's telling the cops, he's throwing a bag of dicks. He's telling the cops to actually eat a bag of gummy dicks. What? All right, so this is a little weird. Everybody made a huge deal about this, but you have to see it in order to tell me what you think. Here, check it out.
So you saying she blocked at the gate? You're going to continue to bring her over here every day?
I've got there's a little bit of a language disparity. I don't, like Marshawn Lynch, I don't have an A-B to English dictionary.
It's your second day her here.
This is when he's saying...
She blocked at the gate.
This is the first time I'm here. So.
This is the second time these people was here, bro.
Little boys,
He's swearing.
So what about my car, though, bro? How can she leave with a car? How you gonna get a bill and you don't even have a job, but you can't even pay the insurance? Broke ass.
Broke ass. And he's holding the penises up.
Chuck, it's the bag of Take that bitch to jail, man. She'll basic. She don't want to know.
Take that bitch to jail. She basic. All right. Yeah, who knows? He's a clown. At the end of the day. And what's up with that voice? How can someone 31 years old have that voice? Has he had that that voice his whole life? He sounds like a bag of dicks, frankly. All right, where am I? Oh my God, I got a great story coming up in Grand Rapids for the local. If you're in the city of Grand Rapids, congratulations. You get to go to college for free. What? That has happened. I think this is really cool. I can't wait to tell you about it. Post camper and RV show, Terrytown RV. Man, I didn't realize how awesome this was, but I shot just a 5-minute video with a couple of the guys from Terrytown RV, and like over 4,000 of you watched that, and I'm jealous because I sit here and I come up with this show, and I'll be happy if I get 2,000. But sure enough, I get the eye candy from Terrytown RV on there, and everybody lights up like a Christmas tree, wants to see the campers. Holy crap. Well, anyway, the point is I think we've struck gold with that, and that is a terrific, terrific client, and I want you to go see the folks at Terrytown RV, and I want you to mention my name. Now, I can't stress this enough. If you are a young family, and you've got, let's say, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, you are the ideal person for Terrytown RV. Here's why. I want you camping, because if you spend an entire summer just staring at each other on the weekend trying to figure out things to do, you're making a huge mistake. Get into an entry, when I say entry level, I mean a beginner's camper. It could be a pop-up. It could be a very small travel trailer that you can pull with your car. All right, but get in one and get camping, because the shared experiences you have with your family will never, ever be forgotten. The fun little videos you're going to take, the great pictures you're going to take, you're going to go to the beach, you're going to roast marshmallows, you're going to be so close to home that it's going to make that trip no big deal. You take your camper over to Holland, you go to Grand Haven, you go down to South Haven, you go up to Pioneer Park, you can go up to Traverse City if you're feeling adventurous. How about that? And you have at it. And, for some of you, you're going to get in for, I don't know, $180 a month, $190 a month. Okay? Now, you can spread those payments out. That's the beauty of when you finance something at Terrytown RV. Think about that. And then you got all the amenities. You got air conditioning. You got your range. You got your stove. You got your heat. You've got your water. You've got your toilet. You got your shower. It's all there. Meet me at Terrytown RV, online at terrytownrv.com. And I will personally walk you through whatever you want to see. Bring the missus, all right? She's going to want to let her pick. Let her pick the one she wants. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Thank you, Terrytown RV. While I'm at it, I've got a giveaway of $1,500 worth of carpeting from Bennett Flooring Installation. You got to join me on Patreon to take advantage of that. But thank you to Bennett Flooring Installation. They've really stepped up, providing this great prize. Once you're signed up on Patreon, you're in the drawing. You have till April to do that. They've also given me $25 a game for Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia, which we played yesterday with Dale. I'm not going to yet give you the result of that, maybe in a couple days, so I don't spoil it for all of you. But thank you to Bennett Flooring Installation. Online at bennettflooringinstallation.com. I want you to call Jacob today and say, look, I want you to come see me here. I live in Rockford. And measure. Give me an estimate. All right. When you do that, first of all, you're getting 10% off because you listen to the show. Make sure you mention my name. 616-318-0167. That's his phone. He's going to pick it up right now. It's just like Joe Martinez. 616-318-0167. Call Jacob Bennett today from Bennett Flooring Installation. Online at bennettflooringinstallation.com. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, boy, when I heard about the Kalamazoo promise, which is, of course, south of where I live, that if you live in Kalamazoo, you get to go to college for free. And I think that's like, isn't that like any 4-year university within the great state of Michigan? Which is, that is a spectacular thing. That is so great, especially for underprivileged people who, don't have a pot to piss in, for them to have this tremendous scholarship laid out. And the stipulations are minimal. I think you just have to go to live in Kalamazoo, and you can take it and graduate high school. That is fantastic. I was really happy when that unfolded, and I think it has to still be going on. I was understanding that it was funded for life. In Grand Rapids, this is starting to happen here too. I'm so jealous. But whatever, at the end of the day, you get a lot of people that live in Grand Rapids who are underprivileged. And I think that this is a really good thing for anybody who, might be raised in an environment where they otherwise would not go to college. And you got a lot of people that just would love to go to college, but they just cannot afford it. There's no way. So that doesn't happen. That's not good. Grand Rapids Community College is not a 4-year school, but still, this is fantastic. This is a great start. Let's check out this story.
Grand Rapids, they could go to college for free this fall. It's part of the Promise Zone project announced today.
It is huge news for students, lifting financial barriers that can keep some from college. News 8's Whitney Burney here now to explain the program. Whitney?
Brian and Sue, this morning Grand Rapids Community College kicked off this project by pledging $500,000 towards this effort. It applies to students at 22 high schools within the city limits. That's every single one of them. And it will allow them to complete a career technical or associate's degree program at GRCC. Administrators say this will be game-changing for families.
A life-changing promise.
Today is truly, truly an important day
That's
in
the
our
mayor.
city. Because
Remember the mayor, all the fun we had when we'd have her on BBL, and she'd sit there. She couldn't keep her eyes off me. She was so in love. She's married. Yeah, still, though. I was like, hey, look, settle down, mayor. Enough with the hard eyes. I'm a married man. You're a married woman. Just going to settle down there. Totally kidding, by the way. But she was charmed.
affirms our commitment to equity, to our young people, and to access to education.
GRCC pledging $500,000 to send Grand Rapids students to college for free this fall.
That's all it takes is $500,000 and everybody goes to school for free? Is that really?
I know there are many children that look like me.
All right.
that would have benefited from something like this.
All right, a little less subtle on the race talk. This lady's saying, I know there's a lot of people that look like me. Why didn't she just come out and say, this is for the blacks? Because I don't know if I would have said that.
To college for free this
I don't
fall.
know if I would have
I
referenced.
know there are many children that look like me that would have benefited from something like this.
But what about all the Latinos then? Why would you individualize it in such a way along lines of race? I thought that comment that we could have done without the comment. There are people from all walks of life in the Grand Rapids schools who don't have a pot to piss in. And they're black, and they're white, and they're Latino. So shut up.
It's a part of the Grand Rapids Promise Zone scholarship that launched in 2019, helping to give more students access to higher education. The scholarship applies to students at all 22 high schools within the city limits, including public, private, and charter schools. The board says other donors are already on board to fund the remainder of the $3 million needed to put 1,300 students into classrooms at GRCC.
Okay. We, again, get to make a statement, a strong statement, as to what this college means with this community.
The guy is running GRCC. We are taking this and going to raise our rates even more.
And for this community.
A statement they're hoping will mean higher paying
We're going to make this even more overpriced.
Jobs and career success for students.
Coming from a low income family, this is a great help, and it takes a lot of weight and pressure from like going to college.
There you go.
Opportunities students say they may not otherwise get.
This is a big relief for me. I will be able to pay bills rather than having to save up money to pay the college tuition.
For the full scholarship to GRCC, students have to be residents of Grand Rapids and have attended one of the eligible high schools since 10th grade. The board says while they're still mapping out ways to make this current program...
Can you imagine if they had like the black kid up there saying this is great and a Latina young person saying this is great, and then they bring in some like 6'5" Dutch kid from East Grand Rapids. He says, I don't need this shit. I'm going to Princeton.
Sustainable for the years to come. They're hoping to eventually expand to 4-year institutions. Now from here, this plan will go to the State Department of Treasury for a final approval. If all goes according to the plan, the program will roll out
this fall. What does the State Department of Treasury have to do with it? You just pay for it, right?
Administrators say they're still securing donors to fund the Promise Zone scholarship for the years to follow. Live here in studio, Whitney Burney, News 8.
I hope they're not putting the cart before the horse.
Goals, remember? Yeah.
Shut up. Hope they're not putting the cart before the horse then. Then they, like, after year one, we can't fund it anymore. I hope that is not the case. But, yeah. You know, I did my best trying to punch a few holes in that story, make it a little bit more silly, but I think that one will survive. Good story. I like it. All right, there was something that happened that is not going to help the continued effort to try to make it so that pit bulls are public dog enemy number one. We've kind of gotten over that as the years have passed. Been less and less. There's been some removing the stigma of pit bulls, but this one particular story may make that a little bit more of a challenge. I'll get to that momentarily. But as you know, I'm big on guns. And I've got a guy who makes AR-15s. I got a guy who can repair any weapon. He and his better half are gunsmiths. And I've got a guy who's going to teach you the required coursework so you can carry your pistol concealed, like we all should. Even my goal is to take Stu McAllister, who is like one of these anti-gun Nancys, and I want him carrying around a nice 40 cal or a 9mm or something like that. Now, if you are a puss and don't carry a gun or don't have a handgun, you don't need to listen, but you probably should anyway. You need to be carrying your pistol on you at all times. And in order to do that concealed, you have to have the required coursework completed. United States Army Major retired Steve Prince will teach you that. He still has a class coming up on January 16th and January 18th. It's a two-parter, a Thursday and a Saturday. I think you can still sign up for that. Just click on the Prince Arming logo at ericzaneshow.com. Or just search it out, Prince Arming. Get it? It's kind of like Prince Charming, but drop the CH, princearming.com. All right? Sign up for the class. It's going to cost you $125. When you're done with the class, you can then apply for your pistol permit. Your county's going to take your fingerprints, going to do a background check, thorough one in the great state of Michigan. A couple months later, and then you pay your $100. Then they send you your damn pistol permit, and you carry that thing everywhere. Ready. You're ready. At that point, you are a sheepdog, as Steve likes to say. You're no longer a sheep. You're a sheepdog. Be a sheepdog. Don't be a sheep. What are you going to do if something terrible happens in your world with you in it? Are you going to run? Are you going to hide? Are you going to say, please don't do this to me, bad man? No. You're going to pull out your 9, and you're going to put a hollow point bullet through his skull that's going to go in the size of a dime and come out the size of a softball. Actually, you're going to shoot right towards the center of mass and make his organs liquefied, because you're going to put, like, I would say 6, 7, 8 through him, and then that's the end of it. And then when you're done, you're going to order a pizza from Franco's on behalf of Joaquin Phoenix. Order a Meat Lovers at Franco's, all right? Get an 18-inch, one topping, $14 all day, every day. Pickup only at Franco's Pizza. Let's make Tuesday, today, a Franco's Pizza Day. They open at 11 a.m., close at 1:30. Get ready for the dinner rush. They open up at 4:30, close at 10 p.m. 616-361-7307, 616-361-7307. Say hello to the multi-talented Marin. She's running the show as usual, as all the ladies do. These lady business owners that just kill it on the Eric Zane Show podcast. And her lesser half, 49% owner, Eric. Actually, I think it's 48%. She owns 52%. She is the boss. She'll kick your ass. 616-361-7307. Thank you, Franco's. They're on Alpine and GR, an institution in pizza making since 1975. This is what happened with the pit bull. This is in Kentucky. Typical trailer dwelling, shit all over the lawn. Father Ron, if you're listening at this point, it's a flat-out miracle. This lady's, something bad is going down with the dude, and she didn't have her pistol. She didn't go to school with Prince Army, but she had a pit bull. While the fight is going on, she got a hold of her pit bull, and she actually taught the pit bull to kill. And she said sick balls to this kook, and the thing killed the guy. Woman charged with using pit bull to kill dude. Pit bull did not survive this. Cops showed up. They had to tase her. They had to shoot it. Dude's dead. So you got talk about a sight to behold. If you're living across the street at the park and you see a dead dude mauled and a dead pit bull and a woman who's being tased. My God. Melissa Wolke was picked up early Friday morning near Mount Vernon, Kentucky, after cops received a call that she and the dog were assaulting a guy. When the cops arrived, they found Wolke beating the dude, Donald Abner, 55, while the dog was mauling him. So something went down here. Wolke allegedly refused an officer's order to stand down. Taser was, she and the dog were shot with the taser, according to cops. The pit bull ran toward one of the cops in an aggressive manner, and the cop had to blast him one, and that was that. The dead guy suffered severe dog bite wounds to his face and neck. He croaked. Dog ate his throat. My God, this is the worst. In addition to the murder charge, Wolke was arraigned on 4 other criminal counts, including alcohol intoxication, disorderly conduct, and resisting arrest. She was held on bail. I thought I had read somewhere that he was beating the hell out of her, but maybe I made that up in my brain. I don't know. I certainly don't think that he was just minding his own business. I'm guessing I'm going to go out on a limb and say she's a prostitute. He's a John. Things got off the rails, and she called Fido to attack the guy. And that is that. At the end of the day, she's in jail. She has no more dog, and that guy is toast. So she'll be spreading that tale in prison for a long, long time. Thank you. We're ending on a happy note. All right, where are we? Let's check out some of these comments. Looks like we got a conversation between Sam and Joe Martinez. Now, here's the story. Joe Martinez, as you know, how many times have I said on this podcast, call Joe at 616-516-8579? I said it 1 million times. Everybody knows that number off the top of their head, 616-516-8579. Listener Sam reaches out to Joe via this podcast on the comments. So, I'm like, why are you doing it that way? Why don't you just call him? So it's all crazy through that means. And then I see the dialogue, and I want them to get in touch with each other so that whatever Sam needs, I think it's a water heater, Joe can take care of it. I go, hey, do you want me to reach out to Joe? Yeah, sure. So I did. And Joe goes, yep, I saw it. I reached out to him. I wasn't able to get a hold of him. So I text friggin' Sam. I go, dude, 616-516-8579. Make it happen, Captain. And now I look at them. They're still playing slap and tickle. Sam, would you call him right this second? Gosh. Like a couple of chicks. Nick says, Eric, do you carry compact, mid-size, or full frame for a pistol? Subcompact. Springfield XD subcompact. Small mag. I can't even get my pinky over the clip or over the magazine. Prince busts me when I call it a clip. It's a magazine. Yeah, so mine's super small, but I think I can put 9 or 10 hollow points in that thing. The regular mag has a spot for my pinky, and that's a 16 rounds. All right, Sam. Sam's water heater. Look, Sam's still saying, hey, I need a new water heater. Ha, ha, ha. Joe says, well, contact me. What are you doing, Sam? God. Jason with the sexist joke. All right. Let's see. All right, enough of this. Enough of this silliness. I have another podcast to do. It's Patreon. All the more reasons for you to sign up for Patreon. More podcasting first and foremost. You could win a $1,500 carpet install from Bennett Flooring Installation. You get to play Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia when you let me know, which, by the way, I had 2 more people let me know yesterday because of my browbeating. If you're already on Patreon, let me know who you are that you want to play Dale. Don't be a wimp about it. Come on. And then you can win the cash. $25 per game can be awarded. It's either a $25 cash prize or it could roll over. I'm not going to tell you yet what the cash prize is for the next time we play. I have Dear Meathead tomorrow, all right? Dad is always outrageously outspoken on just about everything, and he loves to hear from you. As you know, my dad has dementia, and, I don't quite get it yet, but this segment is one day going to stop. And I hope I can do it for a really, really long time. So if you have a question for Dad, what I'm saying is you better get them in. You better get your questions in now. That sounds terrible. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. So there you go. That's what we have in store. More podcasting right around the corner on the Eric Zane Show podcast. I'll try to start on time tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah, I'm telling you, blame the autistics. Blame the autistic kid for bringing weighted blankets into the fold. That's what's going on there. And spread the word. Post on your social media that this show kicks tons of ass, and it's better than your shit radio show that sits around and reads asshole BuzzFeed lists and stares at everybody. I'm telling you, this is better. All right, we'll talk to you down the road. Could be any show, by the way. Just all hypothetical. See ya. Bye-bye. One more thing. My tits look really round in this shirt.